The original Range Rover was designed as the gentleman farmer's vehicle, a 4x4 off-road vehicle, but offering a lot more luxury. This is the baby version, and the next in the Range Rover range, called the Evoque. And as you can see, it's in a lot of ways, it's form over function and not function over form, as applies to many SUVs. Items that do stand out, like you can see the trim effect, the off-road effect on the rear spoiler and on the wing mirrors, just as extra touches. Also the white wheels look very, very good, but you've got to question the practicality of keeping them clean in everyday usage. It's a 5-seater, so it's not as big or long as its brother, the Range Rover Discovery Sport, which obviously offers 7 seats, but it's a very practical sized 5-seater, and it's of course got the very rakish rear end styling, so it has got the quite sharply sloped rear roof to make it look a lot sleeker, a lot smoother, and certainly a lot more functional and practical, and a very good looking. Comes through to a very nice sized, family sized boot over here that definitely will take plenty holiday luggage for a family of 4 to 5 people. And nice tailgate over here, and you can see that version we are testing is the SD4, which means it has the 2.2 litre 4-cylinder diesel engine putting out 140 kilowatts and a massive 420 newton meters of torque, which can be put out through all 4 wheels when necessary, and of course does have the Land Rover terrain response and various functions for going off-road if you would want to take a beautiful looking vehicle like this off-road. One of the features of the current Jaguar Land Rover range of vehicles is of course that rising magical gear selector, which I think is just a nice little touch. You do have a sport setting over here as well. It's a 9-speed automatic gearbox, exceptionally smooth on the open road and around town. You really don't feel your gear changes at all. You also do have quite funky looking red flappy paddles for shifting if you really want to go into the sport and manual mode and use your override. So just something a little bit different on the vehicle over here. You can see very, very clear instrumentation over there. Your trip computer over here, which is useful. You can see that I have averaged 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers in 600 kilometers of driving in this vehicle. The forecast or calculated fuel consumption from other sources has been 7.6, so I think I've done pretty well with this vehicle. And behind the wheel, you're in a luxury vehicle. It may be an SUV, it may and is typically Land Rover capable off-road, but you are in luxury surroundings. Of course, you have your multi-function steering wheel, which gives you all the functions you may require. You come across over here to your infotainment touchscreen, the modern Jaguar Land Rover system of the split screen, where you press for audio over there and it simply gives it to you. You press a button for the home menu, or you can press over here for your 4x4 settings and programs to know exactly where you are with the vehicle. A minor criticism on this particular version, which being the SD4 is the cheapest of the Evoque range, selling at 738,500 Rand, is on this particular one, no standard navigation, and I think even more so, no reverse camera. You do have a reverse function and parking aid alert that comes on when you put it into reverse, but no reverse camera. And I think on most vehicles today it would be expected, and even more so on an SUV type vehicle. But that's a fairly small comment that I'd like to make. You do have your dual zone climate control over here, very effective, works very well, and of course you have your electronic handbrake over here as well. So all of those luxury vehicle standards that come today. Over here you have your typical off-road response system and your terrain response system, as it is called, where you can set for various terrain types to bring in proper 4x4 off-road requirements as you may need them. And again, this vehicle, although it may not look it, it certainly is very capable and can handle off-road. A major marketing push from Land Rover when they launched the Evoque was that Victoria Beckham was involved in the interior design. Well, it's got a lot of nice stylish touches to it as far as I'm concerned. It looks good. It looks very upmarket. I think that's important. And you can see where they've certainly gone to a lot of time, effort and trouble to make this into an upmarket vehicle. Let's see what it's like in the back seat. Moving into the back seat of the Evoque, the driver's seat is set for myself. You can see there is certainly plenty of legroom and plenty of headroom, even with that raked rear end and slightly sharper rear end styling that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. So it is a spacious family vehicle, made for 2 to 3 in the back. You do of course have your obligatory armrest with cup holders that can fold down in the center if you're only carrying 2 passengers in the back. So it does have that, and a very comfortable place on the open road in the back seat as well. You do also have separate climate control settings and vents for the back seat for your rear seat passengers to enjoy over there as well, so that they can be very, very comfortable. One other small point on this model, I said it is the SD4, being the baby of the range. It retails at 738,500 Rand. I'm reasonably short. There is a form of height adjustment on the driver's seat. There is no height adjustment on the passenger seat, and I did get comments that perhaps with the very high window line and waistline of this vehicle being the design that it is, that possibly it was a little bit set rather low on the passenger side for younger passengers or smaller people. That could be something you must take a look at. If those are issues to you, well, go up in the range. You'll of course get the fully electric seats and full electric seat adjustment that would come with price increases as you move up through the Evoque range. Where does the Evoque stand in the market? It obviously has its more butch bigger brother, being the Land Rover Discovery Sport, which I mentioned earlier is a 7-seater, is a bigger, longer and much squarer vehicle. Well, they are mechanically pretty similar and just as capable as each other. The Land Rover comes in a little bit cheaper, but it depends again on the specification you want. There are lots of competitors, but if you value style, if you value the form and the look, this certainly has to be way up near the top of your list to take a look at. If you want an urban SUV that is extremely comfortable as a cruiser, which I tested during my test period on the open road, you cannot go far wrong cruising in a vehicle like the Range Rover Evoque. Certainly take a look at it if you're in this range. If you're looking for a 5-seater family SUV with lots of style, it needs to be on your shopping list.